Hi, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will be talking about Mendel's laws of inheritance and genetics. All living organisms reproduce. As a result of reproduction, same kinds of offsprings are produced, but there may be certain characteristics that differ from their parent. These differences are termed as variations, and genetics is the study of these variations and the environmental factors responsible for these. The term genetics is derived from a Greek word, geno, which means giving birth. And this video deals with Mendel's principle that comes under classical genetics. Mendel's principles. Gregor John Mendel, who is also known as the father of genetics, was an Austrian monk who performed hybridization experiments on Pisum sativum, which is also known as peas. He published its results entitled as Experiments on Plant Hybrids in the journal named The Proceeding of Brunn Society of Natural History, and postulated the principles of inheritance, that is popularly known as Mendel's laws. But unfortunately, due to lack of knowledge and publicity, his works remained unnoticed. And it was later in 1900 that Mendel's works were rediscovered by three biologists named Hugo de Vries of Holland, Karl Correns of Germany, Erich Schemack of Austria. Since Mendel did a statistical study in his experiment and discovered that individual traits are inherited as discrete factors. Mendel did a statistical study in his experiment and discovered that individual traits are inherited as discrete factors, which is presently known as genes, which retain their physical quality in a hybrid. The term genes was coined by Wilhelm Johannsen in 1909. In his experiment, Mendel used peas or Pisum sativum due to the following features: the presence of well-defined discrete characters, bisexual flowers that had dominant or predominant self-fertilization, and it could be easily hybridized and cultivated within a relatively short life cycle. In his experiment, he studied 7 qualitative traits. Qualitative traits are traits that are easily classified into distinct phenotypic classes, or we can say discontinuous variations. All these 7 traits had 2 variants. Let's take a look at this table to understand it better. Here in the beginning you can see the flower color, that is purple and white. The purple flower are considered dominant, whereas the white flowers are recessive. If we talk about the length of the plant, tall ones are considered dominant, whereas the short ones are considered recessive. The seed color is yellow and green. Yellow is dominant, whereas the green is recessive. And if we talk about the shape of the seed, it could be round or wrinkled. Round is considered dominant and wrinkled is considered recessive. If we talk about the pod color, the yellow color is recessive and the green one is dominant. If we talk about the pod shape, it is inflated and constricted. Inflated refers to the full or swollen, and constricted refers to the flat. The next one is the position of flowers. It is axile and terminal. Axile refers to the top and terminal refers to the end. So the plants that are present at the top or axile part are considered dominant, whereas the ones that are present at the end or terminal part are recessive. Before understanding Mendel's law, we must know about some other aspects too. Alleles are alternate form of genes that occupy corresponding position on homologous chromosomes. These code for a particular inherited trait or character. These also control the same trait or character. For example, plant height, but produce different effects like tallness or dwarfness. Homologous chromosomes refers to the chromosomes that carry the same set of genes in the same sequence, although they may not carry identical alleles of each gene. Whereas in heterozygous conditions, the chromosomes contain genotypes that possess one of the each allele for a particular trait. For example, capital T and small t. The capital T stands for tallness and the small t stands for dwarfness. Wild-type alleles are the most common or prevalent alleles in a population. These encode proteins that are made in the right amount and function normally. Rare alleles or alleles that are present at less than 1% population and have occurred and changed by mutation are called mutant alleles. These are inherited in recessive fashion. Such alleles usually result in a reduction in the amount of function of wild-type protein. Dominant and recessive allele. The allele that hides or masks the expression of a recessive allele is called dominant allele. It is represented by an uppercase letter, whereas a recessive allele exerts its effect only in the homozygous state. and in heterozygous condition, its expression is masked by a dominant allele. The recessive alleles are represented by a lowercase letter. This is an example of dominant and recessive alleles. Genotype and phenotype. Genotype refers to the genetic constitution of an individual for any particular trait. It is usually represented by symbols like small t and capital T or small t and capital T. Phenotype refers to the observable properties of an individual for any particular trait. Or in other words, we can say that phenotype refers to the physical appearance of a person or an individual. Mendel's laws of inheritance. Mendel performed an hybridization experiment on Pisum sativum, which is commonly known as peas. Based on this, he proposed laws of inheritance, which were Mendel's first law, which is also known as law of segregation. The second law was law of independent assortment. In his experiment, Mendel crossed two plants. One was tall male, whereas the other one was dwarf female. The tall male was homozygous dominant type, whereas the dwarf female was heterozygous and recessive type. The genotype of the tall male was represented by capital T, whereas that of the dwarf female was represented by small t. Then, according to Mendel's law of segregation, each individual possesses two alleles for a particular trait. During the formation of gametes, these alleles separate from each other, so each gamete carries only one allele. So here, only one allele from each plant, that is homozygous dominant trait or tall male plant, or the heterozygous recessive trait or dwarf female plant. Only one of the alleles from the two plants is going to participate in the process of hybridization. So when the true breeding plants were crossed to each other, then it is called a P-cross, and offspring comprises the F1 generation or first filial generation. When the members of F1 generation were crossed, this produced the F2 generation or second filial generation. A cross between true breeding tall and dwarf plants of the parental generation yield phenotypically tall plants. Points to be noted. In order to determine the kind and frequencies of various types of offsprings expected, we usually use Punnett squares. It is used to predict the outcome of simple genetic crosses. It was proposed by R. Punnett. The genetic constitution of gametes of one sex is kept on the top of the squares, and those of the other sex are on one side. The genetic constitution of all possible zygote is then entered in the squares of the grid. During the formation of gametes, members of the pair of genes separate from each other. The number of chromosomes reduces to half in gametes. The pair of genes present at homologous loci separates from each other, so that each gamete carries only one gene. When plants with these genetic constitution are crossed or mated, the offsprings get capital T gene from one parent and small t gene from the other. All the hybrid plants of F1 generation are genetically heterozygous with the genotype capital T and small t. Hence, it also explains that the characters are discrete and do not blend when present together. This cross involving a single trait is known as monohybrid cross. Mendel gave the law of segregation based on monohybrid cross. After hybridization, the F1 generation obtained was genotypically and phenotypically tall. When the plants of F1 generation were allowed to self-pollinate, both tall and short plants appeared in the second generation or F2 generation. All the plants of F1 generation were tall, but in F2 generation, both tall and short plants appeared. This indicates the character of tallness dominates or conceals the character of shortness in F1 generation or first generation. So the character of shortness could not appear at all. Thus, the character of tallness which expressed itself in heterozygous condition, that is, capital T and small t, in F1 generation is considered as dominant, and the character gene, that is, capital T, is considered as dominant gene. On the other hand, the character for shortness, which could not express itself in F1 generation, is considered as recessive, and the gene small t is considered as recessive gene. The genotypic ratio in F2 generation was 1:2:1, and the phenotypic ratio was 3:1, which is also known as classical Mendelian ratio. This provides the best test of Mendel's law of segregation. A test cross is a cross between an individual with dominant phenotype and individual with a recessive phenotype to see if the individual with the dominant phenotype is homozygous or heterozygous. Based on the dihybrid cross, or the cross that involves the analysis of two independent traits, for example flower color and plant height, Mendel proposed the law of independent assortment, or Mendel's second law. According to this, the assortment or the arrangement of one gene occurs independently of the other non-allelic gene at the time of gametogenesis. Let us consider the following example. Suppose crosses are made between a pea plant with round and yellow seed and one with wrinkled and green ones. All F1 hybrids give yellow and round seeds, since yellow color is dominant over the green and the round shape is dominant over the wrinkled. The outcome of the dihybrid cross makes it clear that the segregation of the seed color is independent of the seed shape, and both the parental and new combinations of the characters appear in the F2 offspring. That's, assortment of genes of one pair is independent of the other. These gametes then randomly combine in F1 cross. The use of Punnett square helps to demonstrate all possible combinations of these gametes, which you can see in the figure. Thus, with complete dominance, a self-fertilized dihybrid gives a phenotypic ratio of 9:3:3:1 in its offspring, and a genotypic ratio of 1:2:1:2:4:2:1:2:1. It also occurs in F2 generation. Incomplete dominance, partial dominance, or semi-dominance. When the either form of alleles are not dominant over each other, or in other words, both the alleles carrying a trait are not dominant over each other, then it is known as incomplete dominance. The example of incomplete dominance is Mirabilis jalapa, or 4 o'clock plant. Here, the plant that had red flower and the plant that had white flower were crossed together, and it produced pink flowers and white flowers. Here, the red color producing gene is not completely dominant over the white color producing gene. The phenotypic ratio of F2 generation was 1:2:1, or 1 was red, 2 were pink, and 1 was white. Here the phenotypic ratio was equal to the genotypic ratio. Alleles that lack dominant and recessive relationship and are both observed phenotypically to same degree are called codominance. In other words, we can say both the alleles express themselves dominantly. Example of codominance is alleles governing MN blood group in humans. Here the genotypic and phenotypic ratios are equal. If you liked my video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.